How does this case, 2 years on, still affect you?
I think it's the most horrific case I've ever had involvement with, and it stays with you. I think I always reflect on the effect on the family, on Darren and Angie and Tanya and Pat and Becky's brother, Danny, and obviously the journey they've had to go on over the last couple of years, and the effects that they have to live with on a day-to-day basis. But it's true that this was obviously a huge investigation in Bristol, with many police officers involved, and obviously 2 years on, it's still with us.
Richard, did it take long for sort of suspicions to be raised around Nathan and his girlfriend?
I think fairly early on in the inquiry, they were two of the people that we were interested in. It obviously needed some meticulous and some organised investigation to try and get to the point where they became suspects. But I think fairly early on there were some alarm bells that were raised, and they were fairly evasive. They didn't want to be interviewed at witnesses at that point. They didn't want to allow police access to the house or to meet police officers at the house. And they were fairly difficult to nail down from an early point.
I think one of the horrible things about this story is that Nathan and Shauna were the two people who said that they had last seen Becky Watts before she went missing. And they left the entire family for days and days, just in a state of trauma over where she might be. I mean, it was brutal, it was callous. Where do they sort of rank in your experience as a police officer?
I think the word you use there is spot on, and it's the word I'd use, which is callous. That they put the family through days and days of unnecessary pain. They told a web of lies in order to mislead police officers, to take us away from the truth, to take us away from the evidence. And undoubtedly that made things far more challenging for us. In terms of a couple, absolutely, cold and calculating. Nathan, far more explosive and unpredictable, but Shauna, cold and somebody very, very much in control.
And viewers might be seeing now for the first time pictures of the police search of Nathan and Shauna's home, a complete tip. I mean, floor-to-ceiling mess. And then they've just seen, as we've just shown, the bathroom. As the door opens onto the bathroom, you see all of the mess on the left-hand side, and then the camera pans round to the bath, and it is utterly pristine, and you find CCTV of Nathan having been to a DIY store to purchase a circular saw, which is what he used on Becky's body in that bath. I mean, these details are so utterly chilling. It's impossible to imagine the sort of person who would be capable of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think also, having killed her, the utter contempt that he treated Becky's body with once she was dead, and the actions he took in order to dismember her body and then store her in order to keep her away from the police and ultimately away from her family was very organised. It was very sophisticated. Chemicals had been used in order to try and preserve the body and make sure that we, the police, didn't get to it. And I think when you add all that up, it paints a pretty sad picture.
Well, thanks so much for being with us this morning. It's such an awful story, and I think, we hear terrible things, don't we? But I think for many people, this has stayed with them, this
Undoubtedly,
story.
yeah. That's Detective Chief Inspector Richard Ocone from Avon and Somerset Police. Richard, thanks very much for joining us this morning.